Welcome back, folks. Just wanted to recap tonight's Knicks game versus the Orlando Magics. The Knicks was able to, uh, they basically beat the brakes off of this team, the Magics. No disrespect to them. They're a very young squad. There's a lot of things to be excited for if you're an Orlando Magic fan. However, the Knicks they're obviously a more experienced team, and they're clicking all cylinders, especially on the offensive end, yeah, also on the defensive end. Basically, this game was not in question after maybe 7 minutes in the first quarter. It essentially became a double-digit game really quick. I think it was like 6 7 minutes into the game. It was a double digits. Knicks had a double-digit lead, and by the second quarter, they already had like a 20-point lead, and they never looked back from there. I mean, the biggest thing was the Knicks. Their defense is really stingy. They're not allowing a ton of things in the paint. They're not even allowing a lot of shot attempts in the paint at all. So that's one thing that's really good about it. And of course, that's primarily because of Mitchell Robinson, because we have him down there in the paint. But also, the biggest reason, too, is like the guards are making a really good effort and the forwards are making a good effort to help, to help their teammates, especially if their teammates get beat off the dribble. The other thing that was the biggest thing to notice about this game was the Knicks offense. They basically did it whatever they wanted. There's a lot of ball movement. There's a lot of dribble penetration. When they're able to get a dribble penetration and the defense collapsed, they kicked out the 3-point shooters. The Knicks shot a lot of 3-pointers this game. They attempted 54 3-pointers and made 24. That was about 44% from the field, from the 3-point line, and they made 50% of their field goals overall. The team, the starting lineup is really starting to set the pace, and also they're really starting to set the pace and the tempo of how we're going to play, and they're doing a really good job. I mean, all of them contributed quite a bit. The thing that was really good that we noticed was there's a really nice two-man game between Julius and uh, and Evan Fournier, especially in the half court. There was a lot of pick and roll between both of them, a lot of give and goes, and so it was really nice to see. I think this play that's coming up here is an example of one. And I mean, they were eating off of their two-man game like all of tonight, and so it was really nice to see. The second team also played really well. Again, they're constantly looking for Obi, especially he's running the floor very well. Teams are trying not to let him run the floor, but he's just so fast, and the team, and the point guards are really looking for him, so it really helped a lot. Again, like I said, our team shot the ball extremely well tonight. Everyone was hitting their 3-point shots. Everyone on this team are pretty good shooters, except for our big men, of course. But everyone else on this team can actually shoot, and so that really helps a lot. It just makes the offense so easy. They had 34 assists tonight. Honestly, I don't even remember the last time the Knicks had 34 assists in a game. I don't know if they had 34 assists last year in any game or even the last 2 years. And so it was really good to see it. The game just came so easy for them. The other person who came alive today was Emmanuel quickly too. As you see him hit that 3-pointer there, he had a really good game. Emmanuel quickly, he shot 5 or 10 from the field, 4 or 8 from 3-point line, and so 50% from three, 50% from the field. So he played a very good, solid game. You can tell early when Emmanuel quickly came in the game, he was very aggressive taking a shot. I think the first shot he took, it was kind of an awkward shot. It wasn't even in the flow of the game. And so you can tell he just wanted to get off. He wanted to get that monkey off his back. He didn't shoot very well in the preseason or in the first game, and so he wanted to just basically get it over with and get in rhythm. The other thing I really like seeing too, especially because of the two-man game between Julius and Evan, as you saw one there, it's really allowing Julius to be able to get into the paint a lot. And this is one of those things I was talking about for the Knicks to be a lot more potent offensively. Julius needs to be able to attack the paint a lot more in order to create easier shots for like either for Mitch or even to find open shooters out in the wing. But the other thing too is like is mostly because of his offensive efficiency, his shooting percentage. Right now is just like he finishes very well at the rim. That was another two-man game between him and Evan, and he was able to get a wide open dunk as a result of that. It just last year he just wasn't getting enough shots at the rim, and so this year it seems like it's a bigger focus, and you can see it even in this game. He basically did a really good job attacking the paint. I mean, they just couldn't do anything with Julius. I mean, he's just a problem, and that's the reason why they just gotta continue trying to make sure he gets the ball inside that paint because it's like he's so strong and he's so skilled. It's like, what are you gonna do? And so that was pretty much it in terms of like the theme of the game. It's kind of really hard to talk much about this game because this game was over in the first quarter essentially. When the first quarter was over, the game was over, and the Magic they didn't want any parts of it, and so the Knicks are just a much better team, and so we'll see them again on Sunday and see if they basically come with a lot more fight than they did today. The thing that was really funny when I was watching the game, Walt Clyde did not have any mercy on the Orlando Magics. He essentially was basically talking about how how pathetic their defense was and how they weren't trying, and so it was kind of interesting to hear that. I mean, you rarely Walt Clyde is like one of these announcers. I don't hear a lot of like NBA announcers, but um, he's probably the only one I've heard that basically just tells you how he feels and he just tells you the truth. I don't know if it's because of his age, where he feels like he's tired of pretending anymore. But it was interesting to hear Walt Clyde talk about the Magics and their struggles. And so I'm just going to go over some of the players and like all the players at least that played meaningful minutes for the Knicks and talk about how they played. And of course, the first one we're going to talk about is R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett actually, he played a very solid game. He shot 3 of 8, 0 of 5 from three. But he actually had some really nice finishes in the paint. RJ Barrett being able to finish in the paint has been a worry. For at least for me, I was worried about it, and obviously, um, a lot of people, correctly have said RJ is young, just be patient, and it's true. It's definitely true, and I always do preface my criticism of RJ's inability to finish in the paint by saying that, let's keep in mind he's only 21 years old. However, it was nice to see this game that he had some really nice finishes in the paint. I don't know if it's because the Magics are just a terrible defensive team, and but he had a really nice spin move early in the first. I think it was in the first or second quarter into the lane and finished with his right hand. It was a really nice sweet move, and so and all three. I think all three of his actually no, he had 2 layups, and those 2 layups were actually in traffic, and both of them was really nice moves. And then the third shot that he made was actually it was a jump shot, and he actually I really like what he did. He drove to attack the paint. He stopped around the free throw line and gave a pump fake. He didn't basically just before he would just basically dribble to the 3 point lane. I'm sorry, he would basically dribble to the free throw line and just basically pull up right away and shoot. But this time around, he just dribbled, did a pump fake, kind of gathered himself, and then shot the ball. And actually, that's I thought that was really interesting to see. I thought that was a really good approach, at least because I guess with the obviously with when you're shooting off the dribble, part of the problem is like your momentum makes it really hard for you to gather the ball and basically and shoot with your proper form. And so at least with this, with him pump faking, it actually gives him the ability to just kind of gather himself and take a better shot. And so it was really nice to see that. And so, but all his 3 point shots he missed. Julius Randle, I mean, what can you say? He played a pretty solid game. He was only 2 for 6 from 3 point line, 33%, but 9 of 16 overall for 56%. And so he's really starting to abuse a lot of these teams well, it's only two teams we played so far, but so far he's really attacking the paint and abusing the players in the paint because he can do that. There's nobody who's going to be able to do anything with Julius Randle if he has enough space to go to the paint. You know, Mitchell Robinson, great game as usual. Just his presence alone, just on the defensive end, just does so much for us. Even on the offensive end, he has great hands, is able to finish. The only thing is like Mitchell Robinson, I would really love to see if he can maybe. I can't wait till he gets into shape because he can barely. Sometimes he can't really get off the ground like he used to. And I don't know if it's because of the leg injury or if he still doesn't trust it. But I do kind of feel like he may have put on a little too much weight. And because I remember Mitchell Robinson when he first came in, the dude was just flying everywhere. Was extremely agile, very fast. Mitchell Robinson doesn't look extremely agile and fast anymore, in my opinion. Although he's still extremely effective. I'm just hoping it's because of the injury and he just needs to get back into shape. I'm really hoping that's all it is. However, he was like a huge plus for us on the defensive end. His presence alone, just like it just he basically shut everything down. There wasn't much going on in the paint. When he was on the floor, nobody was scoring at the rim like that, really. And then the other thing too, even when he's out in the perimeter, his pick and roll defense, I mean, he just has really excellent instincts on a pick and roll defense, how to play it, And he does that trick where some players are able to like. There's times where he kind of gives his teammate enough time to recover, where he's able to use his size and length to kind of like play to play defense on two people at the same time. His ability to do that is like really uncanny. His pick and roll defense is like honestly, it's probably one of the best in the league. I don't know if there's any big man who's actually better at pick and roll than he is at the pick and roll defense. So it was really amazing to see it, and it's just his effect on offenses, opposing offenses is just it's incredible. Evan Fournier, like once again, really good game today as well. I really like the fact that he can dribble, pass, and shoot. He's a threat in so many ways. He's a threat to shoot the three. He's a threat at the mid range. He's a threat to attack the basket. He's a threat to pass the ball. And so he's just a very complete offensive player, and he's really helped open up our offense. And like I said before, he had a great two-man game with Richard, Mitch, not with Mitchell, but with Julius Randle today, and it was really nice to see. He had 18 points this game, and he also had three assists. Kemba Walker had a very solid game, 4 of 8, 3 for 5 from three. Again, just the fact that he's a threat and his ability to shoot the three, it just really helps open everything up. Honestly, in my opinion, Kemba doesn't have to do a whole ton on the offense. He doesn't even really have to attack the paint that much. When he attacks the paint, he can attack the paint and basically, if he's able to collapse the defense, just swing it out to an open man. Um, he's like I said the last game, he seems he struggles finishing at the basket because of his size and he doesn't have the strength that he used to and the lift that he used to finish strong at the rim anymore. But he can still be very effective for us on the offensive end, even while he's attacking the paint. And then the other thing too is like we have Evan Fournier too, and Randle. Both of them can attack the paint, and we also have R.J. Barrett who can attack the paint. And so we have a lot of players that can dribble, pass, and shoot. And so just the fact that Kemba Walker is an excellent three-point shooter, and the fact that he's such a threat on the offensive end is like it's enough to kind of help our offense keep things moving really nicely. And he's also an excellent passer, like the hockey assists that he has, the way he's able to get the ball moving. I really love it as well. The other thing is the defensive end. He hasn't been as bad. I was like very critical of Kemba Walker on the defensive end. He kind of had a rough preseason on the defensive end, and then the first quarter of the Celtics game it was a little rough. But then honestly, it got better. He actually got a little better. He wasn't getting killed. This game, he didn't get killed off the dribble that badly. He was able to stay in front of his man pretty effectively, and so he did a pretty decent job as well. Derrick Rose, of course, he always plays a great game. He went 4 of 8, 4 of 6 from three, and he was able to. And he also has 7 assists. He's always looking for Obi Toppin. He's always like, he just basically does such a good job running the team, whether if it's the second team or that first team. When he's playing with the first team, he always does an excellent job. We had a Jericho Sims signing. He played under 10 minutes today. I was very surprised, but coach really wants a big man out there. He prefers to have a big body out there, and so although we saw Julius and Obi play together, Jericho Sims did also play this game, and he also played some meaningful minutes, and he actually played well this game. I didn't really notice any crazy defensive lapses, and so he played pretty well. And Manuel quickly, like I said, he was able to get that monkey off his back, started shooting, got back to his old self. He shot 5 of 10, 4 of 8 from three. He had an excellent game. As a matter of fact, there was actually a time in this, I think it was either late third quarter or fourth quarter. Actually, it was in the fourth quarter where offense was a little stale and static, and he was able to orchestrate the offense pretty well and was able to get uh, Alec Burks, a couple of 3 pointers. Alec Burks, there was he made two straight 3 pointers at one point, and that was actually really orchestrated by Emmanuel quickly. Him being able to move the guys around, he's able to move Obi Toppin around in such a way where they were able to get some spacing for Alec Burke, and he's shown that he can actually be a pretty good point guard. So he played a really good game today. Obi Toppin had a great game, 5 of 8, 2 of 4 from three. Uh, he also had, so it was a total of 13 points. On top of the 13 points, he only had 2 rebounds, but he played very solid defense. Then we also, Quentin Grimes and Kevin Knops also played. Quentin Grimes was 1 of 2 for 3 points. Kid basically came in. The first shot he took was a 3 pointer, and he was able to can it. The Knicks also played some excellent defense today, like I said before. It wasn't just Mitchell Robinson. It was actually basically wing players, including Julius Randle. They did an excellent job just basically helping their teammates out, playing the passing lanes, and just making it very difficult for the Magics. The team's overall defensive rating was 99, and RJ Barrett had a 96 defensive rating. Julius had an 83.9. Mitchell Robinson had a 118.2 defensive rating, which I was pretty surprised by that, but that's what his defensive rating was. Evan was 92, Kemba was 109, Derek was 85, Jericho was only 50, but he only played 10 minutes, so that's a little that could get really crazy and skewed when you play that you know like very few minutes. It can really skew a lot of these ratings. And Manny quickly had 20 minutes and he had 110. Obi was at 111. He played 23 minutes. And like I said, the team's overall defensive rating was 99. It was really good. And they did a really good job. They played the passing lanes really well. And also, of course, it really helps when you have someone like Mitchell Robinson there in the paint to really help, clean up a lot of the mess. But as you can see from these highlights, it's just all the steals that they got. It wasn't even from taking the ball from ball handlers. It was just playing the passing lane. That's what they did. And so it was an amazing defensive effort by the Knicks, and you know, and so it's like, and hopefully we continue seeing the same effort on the defensive end. Well, that's it. That's all I have for today's game. It was a great game. We played the Magics again on Sunday. Let me know what you thought about the game. Like, subscribe, also comment below. I'll be more than happy to respond. Thank you so much. Have a good night.